Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Talk Football NFC South Takeover. It has been a hot minute, an absolute hot minute. Nicole, how are you this evening?
Fine, bright Wednesday, and I'm doing good. Just sitting on the bench looking at the beautiful Super Bowl coming up and getting excited.
Yeah, it is getting pretty crazy. I like the hair too. I just want to point that out that your hair is very vibrant, and I'm all about it right now. So
Yes.
yeah.
And congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. Everybody's been so nice. Giving me shout outs and everything. And honestly, I love every one of you in this family, and it honestly warms my heart. My girlfriend loves it. I guess my fiance. Sorry, I got to say that now.
Yes.
My fiance loves it as well. So no, a huge shout out to every person in this community. They are unbelievable. So we've missed a lot. We missed a lot. It's no excuses, but it's been a little bit. I've been super, super busy, but I've definitely been thinking of everybody that does tune into the show. So let's get right into it. Big thing, especially with this episode, is coaching changes. So pretty big. I'm kind of shocked, to be quite honest with you, more so than anything. Frank Reich getting signed over to the Carolina Panthers as their head coach. Nicole, what do you think about that?
I mean, I saw the video there where he put out, and he seems like a really good guy. He was just basically saying about how you do it. He says it's difference between losing and winning games is the margins. He's going to go and get it right. It's not a one-man show. He wants to collaborate, and he keeps saying and talking about creating a championship team.
Yep.
He also quoted he had a quote back when he was actually in the NFL, and for his rookie year in 1985, he says, "No man becomes suddenly different from his habits and cherished thoughts." So what he wants to do with this, Panthers is create championship habits and thoughts, and how that will go farther. And he wants to create and build a strong relationship with the fans, which is great. He was married for 36 years too.
Wow.
But he was drafted by Buffalo Bills in the 1985
I read that as well.
draft. So,
I did read that.
But he's been passed around a little here and there. So I think it's good for the Panthers. I feel like they needed someone to come in, rejuvenate the team, new start, no CMC.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Post CMC era for sure. Like it's absolutely. It's kind of tough. He's been with the Colts since 2018. And unfortunately, it started off going in the right direction, in my opinion. With that whole situation with Andrew Luck. Nobody would have been able to necessarily predict that was going to happen, right?
Against the Reds,
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Jacob Andrew
set in a Hail Mary pass.
Well, he got injured, right? That's the issue. Andrew Luck, I believe, came from. I think he was under concussion protocol, and I think very, very earlier on, I think I believe he played maybe a year. I'd have to go and double check, and people in the comments absolutely correct me, but he's gone. That was their franchise guy, right? And if you look at it right now, the Colts are no joke by any means. Them having especially one of the best running backs in the whole entire league, Jonathan Taylor, right? They have pieces, but they just haven't been able to click quite since then. And unfortunately, Frank Reich, he got the brute end of it, right? He was with the Colts for 4.5 years, and he just couldn't get it going. He couldn't get them to where they wanted to be or where they needed to be, right? So, I hope he can do it. Honestly, I hope he can be the person to change them around. But honestly, in my opinion, I more so question why they didn't go with Steve Wilkes. Everything considered and how the NFC South was, Steve Wilkes, he performed very well with the weapons he had. Made the Carolina Panthers very, very competitive up until pretty much the last game of the season, where potentially they still were in playoff contention, right? So. Do you think that maybe Steve Wilkes should have got more of a better look, Nicole? What are you feeling about that?
Not necessarily. I mean, we our div this year, we all kind of hit not rock bottom, but we were all kind of just bobbing up in the water. you know. But I do have to say though, like when he was with the Colts, they became like the third NFL team in history to make the playoffs following a 1-5 start. Um, so there is that going for him that, seemed like it took a little beat, but then
Yep.
the playoffs. So that's a very rare thing to achieve. And they probably did maybe perhaps see that certain season in contention. But I don't know about this Steve Wilkes. Uh, He's great.
Yes.
I guess it is kind of like a competition of getting that front seat, the driver's
Yeah.
seat, the head coach.
Mhm.
The coach has so much actually that you have to list in order for, I mean, there's a lot on their job on the table, depending on what kind of coach you are. So
True.
maybe they wanted to go for a different kind of coach than what, Steve Wilkes is coaching standards like. I don't know.
It's
What
tough
do you
though
think?
because
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's kind of tough because the way the NFL has been, and Sean, you can correct me in this, but it's kind of balanced 50-50 in a sense. Like you look at what happened in Tampa Bay with Byron Leftwich being a defensive coordinator, right? He did a fantastic job, an unbelievable defensive coordinator that didn't translate to a head coach, right?
Mhm.
The same kind of thing with Steve Wilkes, right? Steve Wilkes, the coordinator that he was, right, performed very well, and he took over as the head coach in lieu of Rule getting fired, right?
Mhm.
And with CMC being traded, your quarterback, Baker Mayfield, who, just ended up, pretty much being a flop and, you giving up the world of trades to land Baker Mayfield, him not performing, Sam Darnold, who, like, I'm going to put it bluntly, is absolutely washed up and is a dud, right?
Mm.
What else do you really do in that situation, right? Like, it's funny because in some ways the Carolina Panthers have more weapons than what the Green Bay Packers currently have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Steve Wilkes still made it interesting and competitive. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of tough. I absolutely expect though a team to pick up Steve Wilkes. I'm going to tell you that right
Mhm.
now. I think he'll be out of Carolina. I don't know. What do you think, Sean?
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, my my other team, we got our eye on Steve Wilkes, absolutely. But I mean, look, to your point, Kyle, like it's just it is 50-50. Like you hate to see somebody like a Steve Wilkes do so well because honestly, when he came in, I mean, we were dumpster fire. CMC, Robbie Anderson, both those guys were going. Like you said, with Sam Darnold, Baker, and them guys played well. So the fact that he kept that team together with little to no help, like kind of on that offense. I mean, we were going with PJ Walker at one point in the season, and on this show, we were asking, can you rely on him? And we couldn't. But Steve Wilkes, you're glad that he did so well, and you want to shout. He's a great feel-good story, but it's just when you have these situations where the interim coach comes in, unfortunately, it's just normally they don't get that gig, they don't get the job because the owner, the GM, they want their guy, they want somebody else, which stinks because Steve Wilkes did so good and had us up to 2 games left in the season, and we're in
So yeah, second
hunt.
last game of the season, I think it was.
Right, we had a shot at the division, so shout out to him. I don't know. So Frank Reich, I'm excited about this. I think this is cool. This is not who I would have chose. I was obviously in the Sean Payton Manning conversation. I don't want to say anything because I know you guys were excited about it, but I was like, Sean Payton Manning, come to Carolina, keep pounding. Can we do it?
Do you see the banner? Do you see the banner?
I saw. But I like this guy. This guy is you mentioned it, Nicole, about what he did with the Colts, and I mean, we've seen just alone. What impresses me is what he did with Carson Wentz. I've personally seen what Carson Wentz is as quarterback. He didn't work out for Washington, and I think personally, if you put our rosters together, our weapons are far better than the Colts. But I honestly think this guy, he's a winner. Everywhere he goes, he gets it done. This guy, and I don't know if you know, and here's a history fact for you, Nicole. Frank Reich was for a long time the owner of the greatest comeback in playoff history. The Houston Oilers, now the Houston Titans, at the time were up 35-3 in the third quarter. And the quarterback that Jim Kelly was the head quarterback for the Bills, he's knocked out. Frank Reich came in and brought them all the way back and led them to the victory, got them to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, didn't win, but he has that comeback, and then he also had a comeback with a similar, I think, 35 or 38 point comeback for Maryland against Miami when he was in college. He is a winner. He never say die. And like you said about what he's done with the Colts, like he can work with a team like us because we have pieces, but we don't have that QB yet. Chuba Hubbard and Dante Foreman. Yet. Chuba Hubbard, Dante Foreman, I love them, but I don't know if they're a number one. You know what I mean? Especially if Bijan Robinson could fall to us. I mean, that would be beautiful. But I think he's the right fit. I think he's going to be secure and he's going to bring in his guys. So I like the pickup. I do.
I like it. Honestly, no, you touched on some really good points too. And, before we move on, with what Frank Reich was given in Indy, like he made the best of, a hard situation. Definitely some curveballs were thrown and stuff. And, it's very unfortunate because there's a lot of teams where, you hope a coach can change the dynamic, right? But sometimes it takes a lot longer to build that dynasty. So, yeah. But with that being, what's up?
Is 2016? He was hired as the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, and then went on to win that Super Bowl.
Yep.
Okay, he is a winner.
Oh yeah.
Convinced. He's a winner. Has to be, right?
Yes.
Sorry,
I love it.
Wow.
I love it.
Let's go.
So, I'm pumped about this. I'm, Jerry Gray, I'm a little bit diced about, but Ryan Nielsen, Nicole, I know you know that name.
Oh man.
I know you know where he comes from.
Sorry.
I know this is a Terry Fontenot move. So I'm actually gonna let Lady start first. Nicole, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, when you go fishing, you gotta go and have all of your tools, right?
Yeah.
And the number one thing you need for fishing is, you got to know and get your tackles in line. Okay. Yep. So that's all I got to say. No,
I love that.
He's, I asked, Cam, what's your thoughts and opinions? How are you feeling? Cause if you get, what his thoughts are, I think because he's been one of the defensive coaches on the field, for the team, that he has a pretty good eye and sense of what the team as the defense is feeling. Yep. And he said it was inevitable that Nielsen got his own defense to run while also eliminating him to go to the Saints' biggest rival. So he did say he was happy-ish, about him leaving. But, I mean, he was hired with us in 2017 just as a defensive line coach. Then he worked also too under Mr. Dennis Allen before he moved up. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't like giving it to you guys, but I mean, with the Saints and what he did with the defense was he did some production with their defensive line. He likes to use heavy rotational approach with both the defensive line and the tackles. Yep. So get your fishing rods because you Falcons are going fishing.
Oh yeah,
and you fished them out. So
returning to Eagles. Hey, I like it. No, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm pumped. Honestly, I really hope this translates to what we're going to be doing in the off season. Personally, like I've said it before. We need help in the trenches. Like we really do. Our defense is very, very weak. Now, with that being said, I think there's a lot of improvements on the defensive side of the ball. Like I really liked us signing Casey Hayward. I really liked Troy Anderson. I thought Troy Anderson had a phenomenal season.
Yes.
Arnold Ebiketie. Like all of these young guys that are coming in, they're filling in pieces, and I think that's awesome. That's great. Also, who was the cornerback? Oh my God, I can't remember his name now. The Canadian. I should know this. Oh my God. I'll look it up in a second. Our cornerback, though, he came in with AJ Terrell, right?
Oh,
Did awesome. It was phenomenal. Like, we actually had a little bit of depth in cornerback. Still some improvement that needs to be there as well, which, we could be looking at that for the draft. But honestly, we just need to give Grady Jarrett some help. And I think that's what's going to end up happening is us signing Ryan Nielsen. I really think that he's going to come in there and be like, listen, I want my guys. I want my guy. I want my guy in this draft. And that is where the Falcons should lead in the first pick, is they need to go and either pick a Miles Murphy or pick a Tyree Wilson and bolster up that defense. And whether it's a year of developing or just kind of getting them in that rotation, let's start there. And then we'll see what we have in quarterback and everything. But between that and signing also Jerry Gray, who was the assistant DB coach for the Green Bay Packers, like, I love it. I want to see more of what the Falcons are going to do with defense, and the fact that we're making moves and signing in guys that they do deserve that position, their time their time to shine. Right? I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what's going to come of it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much about Jerry Gray. I'll be honest with you. I don't follow the Packers that closely. Sean, do you know anything about him?
Not much. Not much. A little more about Ryan Nielsen, but not much about Jerry Gray.
He's moved a lot or around a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is sometimes a good thing
for a
while.
while.
A bad thing.
Yeah.
Did he ever play?
Wheelers.
Did he ever play in the league?
He worked.
He played college ball at the University of Texas. Yep.
Huh.
Yep. That's what I see. He is actually he's pretty old, man. He's 60 years old.
When did he play in the NFL?
Playing career, he was the Rams' first round choice.
Is that Jerry Gray?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a monster. He was on the, I think he had like 2 or 3 Pro Bowls when he was playing for the Rams. I think he was like one of the top tier corners. He was a stud in his playing days. That's why I was like, but that's from 1990 when he was playing. Because I was like, oh, is it that Jerry Gray? But that was a long time ago. And you said he was 60. Oh, yeah. So I don't know about his coaching career, but I know he was a stud corner when he played for the Rams.
Yeah. No, so that's who we signed as our, I guess, the assistant with I think the assistant defensive coordinator, I believe. Either way, he's on the defensive side of the ball. So it's exciting. We'll see what's going to come of it. I'm not entirely sure. It's still too premature to make any bets, but at least we can all be what's up, Sean? What's up?
No, I was gonna say. I mean, in a division that needs defenses, y'all got a weapon right now. And I'm gonna tell you, you talked about Grady Jarrett and all the different pieces you got. Since 2017, the Saints have been third in total sacks. We're 233 sacks. Okay, in the last 4 years, they were top 5 in run defense. And in fact, between 2017 and 2020, they had like a 55-game stretch where no running back got over 100 yards against them.
Insane.
Wow.
I mean, now he did have Cam Jordan, and as Nicole has told us, Cam Jordan is a man amongst boys. You know what I mean? Unless they poke him inside. I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But honestly, like you said with Grady Jarrett, like you said with the different pieces they're putting in, you bring a guy like this in, and honestly, they're not going to be talking about any of that nonsense from Super Bowl, whatever, the 28-3, because he's going to reinstill defense to you guys. If you bring the pieces and get the right draft picks, this might be a solid move for y'all.
Hoping so. I'm hoping so. Like I said, I think we're making all the right moves on offense. To be honest, I don't think a lot of the offense really needs to be touched. Yeah. The Falcons are second highest right now in available cap space. I think we're going into the cap. I think we have a cap space of $70 million. I think is what it comes down to. The only team that's higher than us currently right now is the Chicago Bears. So, right now, from what I'm hearing, there's been a lot of talk and rumor of Lamar Jackson going to Atlanta, but I think that's since been squashed, which is great. Yeah. I don't want Lamar. I don't want to spend money on Lamar because with what we can do for that $70 million, we can fill a lot of holes. And then if it comes down to us just needing a quarterback, at that point, are we any different than the Philadelphia Eagles? Jalen Hurts is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting him I don't care what anybody says. he's not an elite level for me. I'm
Ow!
no, he's not. He's a good quarterback, but
Respect.
I think the team is
Yeah.
what's
It's
actually
stacked.
that's
They're
what's
complete.
going on right now. Let's be honest here. So, but we'll see what comes with the seasons. Like, don't get me wrong, lots can happen, but at least we can all agree on that. It's a new face in the NFC South.
Nah, 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 nah.
Hey,
Hey, hey.
Goodbye.
Right.
I love it. I love it. Listen, Tom Brady, you had a hell of a career. You did.
Mhm.
But
Yep. No.
I'm not going to miss you. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not going to miss you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. No,
Right.
I'm sure we've all heard the news that, and I think, there's been a lot of speculation because this is now Tom Brady's third retirement. I don't know. What's all your thoughts right now? I think this is legit. The fact that he came out and he said it himself, he made his own video clip, and I watched this at like 6:30 in the morning. This was early that he made this. The man would not go and make a clip that early. It was a lie. Like, people, like, come on now. Like, I don't understand the logic behind this, but no, like, I think this is it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think he woke up and was like, I gotta be some. I gotta go.
I drank too much at that 8 and 9 beer pack. Like, I don't know what's going on right now. Like,
that appointment 7 years ago.
Like, I don't know. Like, one night I was in Dallas, and then the next night I'm like out cold. Like, what's going on right now? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh man.
it's been a few days. But
I feel
I
bad
guess
for
they're gonna
the
make an announcement. People are gonna think I'm dead or something.
Right.
Like,
big shoes to fill though for the Bucks though.
you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and trash anybody by any means. But the Bucks saw this coming. We have a lot of people even in our group that are Bucks fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they knew this was gonna be short-lived. You ask a majority of the people we know,
Andrew.
nobody had
Right.
the Bucks signing at all Tom Brady
No.
or anymore. It was gone. It was more so a matter if he was going to retire or if he was going to get traded, which, like, I'm not saying that's off the books necessarily yet, but I do think he's going to honor that retirement. I would even maybe go as far, and this is kind of a bold prediction, watch him try and get back with Giselle and his kids. You know what I mean? It could be one of those situations where it's like, hey, you know what? Like, I screwed up Giselle. Like, I thought I had another year in me, and like, this is kind of what happened. And listen, honey, I want to make this work, right? It could be one of those situations. I don't know.
Could be.
Like,
Or 40 days later, he can come back again.
Yeah. But the one thing I will say is between that, Byron Leftwich, that whole situation of him, like what he got fired too as well, right? Yeah, I would expect, and this isn't necessarily a prediction. I'm gonna say this is probably a spoiler. Is watch some Buccaneer players leave. They're not. There's going to be some people that follow. Some names that come to mind, probably Fournette. I think Fournette's probably going to be gone. Leonard Fournette's probably going to be gone. I don't think he's going to continue playing. I don't know if that's necessarily a loss for the Bucs, considering what they have with Rachaad White. He did very, very well this season, so that's something to be said. Chris Godwin, there's been a lot of talk about him potentially leaving. I believe he has a year left on his contract, and people can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I see him going. The only one that I can really say is probably going to be a staple, probably be Mike Evans, but expect there to be there's going to be a rebuild for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for sure. Does that make them any less scary? I don't think so. They have a very good defensive side of the ball. So, it's something right now I would even go as far as saying that, like, arguably maybe the Carolina Panthers, but they probably have the best defense in our division.
I mean, yeah. Well, go. I was just gonna say there's also, like, it seems like the Bucs are making some moves with this Todd Bowles man being the head coach. Because there was also a slew, I guess, of other assistants that were fired as well. So it looks like it's going to be a new dawn, a new day for this team with a lot of ways starting from up there, you know?
Well, respectively, I would even go as far as saying that pretty much every coach in our division, main coach, maybe minus Frank Reich, like obviously because he's new. If you think you're not on the hot seat, you're sadly mistaken.
Right.
Like you can't tell me that Dennis Allen isn't on the hot seat. You can't tell me that Arthur Smith isn't on the hot seat. Like the thing is we might not see Todd Bowles' goal yet. I would say probably he is on the hottest seat by far. But you got to give the guy another season for sure and see what he's going to do, right? Like, you know, I say give it a season, and then I would say I would see him then maybe be cut even before the season's over, depending on how the record goes. But Arthur Smith isn't far behind either. You know, if he's
warm,
his seat isn't by far not cold. Like, you know, if he keeps on, you know, working on running plays and thinking it's the Tennessee Titans, and then he can just rebuild the Tennessee Titans here in Atlanta, like that's not how it's going to work. That's not the kind of ball we play. We've lacked running game, but we need a passing game. Like, it's sorry, man. I don't know what to tell you. That's the reality of it. So you better have some answers. But yeah, I don't know. Do you think anybody picks up Byron Leftwich?
There've been conversations about us potentially picking him up, but then I mean, not really. I mean, because I'm looking over at what y'all are like, nah, bro. I've seen you guys. No, we're good. We're good. And you had the GOAT. Sorry, Byron. I can't. But he is from this area. He went to Marshall, which is in West Virginia, which is right near here. You know, he's from this. So it would be a nice little fit. But again, it has to be a right fit. He has to want to come in here and go from being potentially in the playoffs every year to working with a team that still is in rebuild as far as Washington is concerned. Now, as far as with the Panthers, I don't know that. I don't know. A new dawn, a new day.
New dawn, it's a new day.
I don't know, but look. But look, like you said, like nobody's running away with this division. I mean, they had the GOAT, they had all these pieces, and they weren't running away with this division. You know what I mean? So honestly, I think we're all kind of in the rebuild, and I think unless they're able to make some serious moves, because like you said, all those guys that were studs, the Godwins, the running back Fournette, all those guys. I mean, you see, Adam Katsu's gone. They came to play with Tom Brady. They came, they got their Super Bowl, they got back to the playoffs the next year, and that's kind of it. Once Tom Brady left, a lot of them came back last year because Tom Brady came back.
Literally. No, I cannot agree more for sure. But before we move on, you know, we're getting to that point where everybody's going to need a water break and a pee break. So let's cut to commercial. Gotta love that commercial. So we are one of the many shows. Spoiler alert. We're probably going to be looking at switching Tuesday nights potentially. Something that's a little bit more friendly with the LTF community. You know, we were originally on Tuesday nights, but we'll see kind of what's going to happen in the new season. But we will always bring you that NFC South news. You know, we got Washington Weekly Football on Wednesdays. We got the Roundtable on Tuesdays. Miss Nicole is one part of the ladies South or Ladies Takeover, I believe on Thursdays, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And we got draft shows, we got card rip shows, we got lots of stuff. We got all your football needs all across the board. So come check us out. Give us a like, give us a share, give us some love. But Nicole, I'm sorry, you have to you gotta kick it off. You gotta kick it off. Listen, Nicole, I will say this, okay? Out of everything that I've seen in the offseason, like again, I am not a Aints fan. Sorry, I'm missing the S. I don't know where it is. Probably
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Aints. Let's go. I lost the spelling bee. I'm sorry. Super smart move. Super smart move. I talked about this last night on the round table, and the Saints not having a first round pick. This was literally their only move that they could do while still keeping the assets that they wanted to keep. I think that is awesome. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe they sent over what was it? It's a first round pick from the Broncos, and it's a 2024 second, right? I believe that's what the trade was.
Yes.
The pick ended up being the 30th, like essentially, let's call it a second round pick, realistically.
Thanks, San Fran.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, you got a first round pick. So the thing is depending on where you are, and even with the Saints, right? You could strategize to pick two back-to-back players very close together and bolster up one side of the line. So what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts about Sean Payton, your man, the guy you've loved this whole time, going to the Broncos?
Well, it would have been better if stinking Seattle wouldn't get their nose into it and taken that better pick that they had. They were like 5th, and now Seattle has it. So thank you, Seattle. But no, I mean, this is great. I mean, Tom Brady, don't get any ideas. It's different coming back as a coach as if you're a player, okay? I think you've seen that. Mm-hmm. But I've been saying ever since the beginning of this season, I missed him. I don't even care if he's not on our team, but I miss the guy so much. He has his own Netflix show. If you guys want to watch it and learn about him, it's called The Home Team. He also had a song written by Shamar Allen called The Sean Payton, and it was made up during us swiping Tampa Bay 38-3, and it was for the third time that season, 2018. So he has a lot to say. I mean, the guy's a star. I mean, he was also the first coach to be positive for COVID-19 in the league too. So, I mean, it's a record, but he's number one. And don't you forget it.
You're going off solo now after that. You just went to a whole new level. Let's give the guy a Hall of Fame.
It's a record.
Get COVID.
He has a Netflix show. He said it's a record. And a dance, and he's number one.
Yes.
Oh God. So what, does Tom Brady get a batter to be the first to deflate a ball? Are we handing out awards?
Yes.
Like, that's what we're doing?
Yes.
Oh my
We're all sitting on the
God.
bench and handing out awards.
You get an award. Washington.
Listen, I mean, us Saints, we're not hiring anybody. We're not firing anyone except for that other guy that went to you guys. So Sean Payton's all I got.
Yes.
Oh God, Daddy Sean.
He's gonna be good. And I know that we were talking about it before, the Sean Payton Manning story about them talking behind the scenes, and I thought both of them were gonna come to me. But little did I know, I was talking as if I was a Broncos fan.
Maybe. Yeah. So maybe it's Sean Payton Manning Arch.
Yes.
Ooh.
Just saying. So I think that's where this is going to end up a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny that, I know you were joking about it beforehand and you're trying to manifest some good juju, but like, why not? Right? Like the Denver Broncos could be very enticing for Arch, and I'm sure there's been talks. I'm sure. There's no way that Eli or Peyton, or I guess what was the dad's name?
Archie.
Well, no,
Archie, but then the other brother was
they haven't all talked. You know what I mean? There's no way they haven't all talked. And like, yo, where do you want to play, Arch? Where do you want us to try hard to get you? Because ultimately, it could come down to that. Now, at the same time, I'm not saying it's not going to be another scenario of what happened with Eli Manning, right? It was Eli, right, that declined.
That said he didn't want to go one place. He didn't want to go to the Chargers, so he went to the Giants.
Yeah. I hope it's nothing like that, because ultimately any team realistically would probably kill to get Arch Manning. Realistically, like, I'm not saying, and like that's one thing that we're gonna have to watch, especially with that.
Let's watch him in college too.
Well,
see if he can hold up with them jokers.
I'd be shocked if it doesn't translate. Like, if you do that good in high school and stuff, typically that's going to translate pretty far. And when you're that talented of a prospect, like Trevor Lawrence was exactly the same way. The hype was just around him, just like that. So, we'll have to see. Honestly, I'm really curious to see how this is all going to play out.
Man. Just imagine them family Thanksgiving dinner.
Man.
What's going to be on the table?
How I would love it even more though if like he ended up getting picked up by a team like, let's say, I don't know, the Tennessee Titans or something like, like something
Carolina.
happens to Mahomes, he goes to KC or the Raiders. You know what I mean? Just that family turmoil. Can you imagine? Like,
yes.
Yeah, screw that. I'm not following your footsteps.
I mean,
right?
That could be a thing too, because it is such a heavy pressure.
Yeah.
But now here's the other side to this though. His name is Arch. His granddad's name was Archie.
Yep.
You know where his granddad was drafted to?
Come on, Nicole. You know this one. Take a guess.
It was me.
I want no
you might
part
want to
of
go there.
No, we're not manifesting that. First of all,
yes, we are.
We just got rid of Brady. I don't want none of that. I want none of that.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be interesting where he lands. But yeah, like, you know what? It kind of poses a question too, and like, even speaking for you, Sean, being a Washington fan, Arch Manning, he's probably realistically going to be at least 3 years away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you let all these quarterbacks slide for 3 years, and then at the same time, you look at our division, like there isn't a starting quarterback. Desmond Ridder, potentially, sure, but we don't know what he's going to have. We don't know what Matt Corral is going to have either, right? We don't know, but
good point.
There is some talented quarterbacks that are going to be coming, in the next few years. Caleb Williams. What's going to happen with Spencer Rattler? Is he the real deal or is he a joke? There is that. What is not Quinn Hughes? It's that Texan guy, the guy who.
Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers, yeah. What's going to happen with him? He's doing a great job too, right?
Exactly.
There is some very talented quarterbacks that are going to be coming in the league. And then even this year, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, Bryce Young. What's next in Alabama? You know what I mean? Like there is a lot of quarterbacks that are going to be coming down the line. And is it really worth to let all this slide into your team to go into turmoil? Just land a guy that you potentially might not even get? I don't know. I don't think that's how the sport should be. I don't want to see that kind of football, transpire for the years. I don't want to see teams purposely flopping because they're trying to land a guy. Like, to me, that would turn me off of football.
Right. No, I'm right there with you, man. And let's be honest, like you said, like the comment I made, and Handy, he even said it, like this guy is still in high school. And yes, we've seen the Trevor Lawrences. We've seen those guys come out and are amazing in high school, amazing in college, and they come to the pros, and it eventually works together. But let's remember last year for Trevor Lawrence. The coaching staff wasn't right. They didn't have the players, and he struggled. And he's, we see how good he's doing this year, but it's not an exact science picking these guys up from college going to the pros. We don't know what it's going to be like. I think Mel Kiper said that when Patrick Mahomes was coming out of college, that Patrick Mahomes, I like that right there. I like that. I didn't know you were a Washington fan, but okay, it works.
This is my way of coming out. No. I did want to say though, you know what? But with respect to what you're saying, Sean, about Trevor Lawrence, do you give him the credit or do you give coaching? Because Doug Peterson, let's remember where he comes from. Okay? Yep. Let's remember who truly turned around that Eagles team. I'm just saying, okay? Like, there's
Yep.
something to be said. He did win a Super Bowl.
Right. And see, so that's the other part of it. Because Arch has to go to college, and he's committed to Texas, so we'll see. Because you talked about it, Quinn Ewers is already over there. So is Arch just going to all just come in and take his spot right away? Like, we don't know. And then once he does get to the pros, regardless of where he's ranked, he's got to fall on the right team. Because let's be honest, the team that gets him, if he's as advertised all the way up through college, the team that gets him is going to be somebody like the Texans. Somebody, you know what I mean? Like,
we hope not. Honestly,
but I mean, it's the worst team that's going to get him. It's not going to be the great, solid team. No. You know what I mean? So, and it's like, to your point, do you want to tank? No, you don't want to tank, because there's too much talent in between, and we don't know what's going to happen between now and 2020. You know what I mean? Like, we might have the opportunity. I don't know. We'll see.
He's been doing this for the couple years. This is what's happening. That's why our season was bad. We secretly, that's what.
No, I don't believe that.
I think
waiting for the day that never comes.
I think these things were very similarly in like what the Carolina Panthers were, just less drastic, in my opinion. They were still in a crap hole. It's just theirs didn't smell as bad. Let's be honest here.
But the whole division was kind of smelly.
Absolutely. But so I don't know if you guys know, but there's a game coming up very soon, and it's not Stanley Cup time. It's not World Series time. The FIFA World Cup just passed.
Yeah.
I think it's the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Super Bowl.
Wait, I heard y'all are having a party. Are y'all having a Super Bowl get together?
Yeah. You want to fly down to Canada?
I would love to fly to Canada. That would be great.
Yeah. I was scared of spare room up here. Don't you worry.
Let's go. Oh, come on now.
I have a spare room.
Let's go.
Nicole has a house, I think, too. She's got spare rooms too.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Anytime you want to come down to Alberta, man, absolutely. You just let us know.
Let's get it. 2023, I'm traveling. Let's go.
Sure, man. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not really okay. So I have different. Again, this is I'm reverbing exactly what I was saying last night too. But I have some very choice opinions on this. The Eagles very well could go. Well, actually, let me backtrack. For everybody that doesn't know, it's the Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Unless you're living under a rock by any means, that is who we're looking at for the Super Bowl. So we're looking at, for the first time in history, 2 black quarterbacks going head to head.
Noticed that.
Yep, in the Super Bowl. Not that really matters by any means, but
in Black History Month.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, that's a stat. Nicole, maybe even more of an important stat than the first score. But I don't know. I'm not taking shots. But no. So I'm torn. Okay. So I'm gonna start with Kansas City, and we'll all go around. We'll all give our opinions. Kansas City is what Green Bay was hoping that they were going to be this year. Now, the reason why I say that is if you look at Kansas City as a whole right now, like they got some pieces, but I wouldn't say their team is stacked by any means. Patty Mahomes being an elite caliber quarterback, I have no issue saying that. I think we can all agree on that. Debatably might actually in a long time might be one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. But we'll see kind of what his career is going to look like before we jump to that conclusion. But, Travis Kelce, we have, Gronk and Tom Brady 2.0 is essentially what this is, right? Juju Smith-Schuster, I'm not calling that a top wide receiver. He's good, sure. Kadarius Toney, again, great wide receiver, not amazing. Pacheco, rookie, did great this year. Not trying to crap on him.
Good, yeah.
Not an elite. Are we going to say that? What's his name? Jerick McKinnon, amazing year.
Yeah.
Defensive side of the ball, Chris Jones, not a question. He's great good at what he does, right? They've signed like George Karlaftis.
Yep.
Thank you. They got some interesting stuff, but all in all, it's not much different than what the Green Bay Packers have. Honestly, realistically, you look at each side of the ball, they probably have the same amount of weapons. Like really. So how did they get here? Wow. Patrick Mahomes is playing Tom Brady 2023 football. Honestly, that's what's going on right now, right? And then we look at the other side of the ball. Okay, we look at the Philadelphia Eagles. I have very choice opinions on the Eagles, but at the same time, I'm putting that to the side. I'm going to analyze it, as it should be. Okay. Jalen Hurts is having a great year. Fantastic year. He's having unbelievable stats. His team is working. They're gelling really well together. And that's the thing, is they're collectively getting better, right? That team, though, also minus AJ Brown, who was a good pickup for them. I wasn't sure how he was going to play, considering I didn't think he was that amazing on the Tennessee Titans, but he's definitely having a year, right?
Right.
Also, the rookie running back who the Philadelphia Eagles picked up. Who was it again? I can't remember now. Who's their running back?
There's Miles Sanders. There's Boston Scott.
Did they not pick up a rookie running back?
Is it Trey Sermon?
No. So Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell.
Gainwell. Oh yeah,
that's who it was. Kenneth Gainwell's having also a hell of a season, right? Yeah. Miles Sanders is probably having one of the better seasons. I think the best career season he's had.
Oh yeah,
right. But all in all, and then with them actually picking up, sorry, I got to throw the Georgia boy out there.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast himself, right? Yeah. Wasn't it Jordan,
Big Baby Davis, Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis.
Yeah, and then Nicole Dean, but he played it.
Exactly. Yeah. All of them, like, again, names are slipping me tonight, but phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. Like, honestly, their team, their guards, their tackles, their defensive line, pick up Nadavakong Su, right? Like, their team is stacked.
Yep.
I don't think Jalen Hurts really, like, honestly, don't get me wrong, Gardner Minshew, they threw him in, he failed, but Gardner Minshew's not a starting quarterback. Not even like a mid-tier quarterback for that matter, right? You throw like a top 15 quarterback, top 20 quarterback in there, they're probably going to do the same, in my opinion. That's just me. That's what this game is ultimately going to come down to. Personally, in my opinion, is the team going to gel and do great, or is Patrick Mahomes going to run away with it? So to me, in my opinion, I'm going to say it's tough. This is a real tough match for me. I said I'm going to keep it. I'm going to go 31-27. I'm going to go Kansas City.
Ooh.
So now, before I move on, my reason for this is rookie quarterbacks don't always do exactly the best under that kind of pressure. Like, we're going to be honest here, okay? Like, you go to the Super Bowl, it's a whole different type of scenario than, college ball. College ball, and I'm not, copping on that. College ball, in a lot of ways, is way more intense than what the NFL could ever offer. The fan base is huge. The publicity even behind it, especially in the States, and Sean, you can speak to this. It's massive. It's massive, right? Like, you got cities fighting. Like, Michigan is divided literally because of their colleges, right? So it's a big deal, but when you're under that big light in that stage, I think there's something else to be said about it. So I think this all comes down to quarterback, but I want to get both your thoughts on that.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Well, this is going to be a very huge game. It's a huge game. A little nervous. It's just, this is it. This is all for all the marbles. And those marbles are good marbles, called the Lombardi Trophy, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Just don't dent it like someone else did.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
What team?
Tom Brady. Avocado tequila. Let's go.
Cue the clip of them throwing it onto the boat.
Wait a minute.
You have it?
I have it. Wait, I got to go to the other one. Hold on.
Oh, I love it.
Let me see.
My God. Ladies and gentlemen, this was not planned. I want you to know.
Here we go.
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
Craziness.
We're not doing that.
No. But I do think, either in the arms of an angel like Jalen Hurts or in the arms of a Mahomes, it's going to be taken good care of. This one's, like you said, Kyle, this one is very hard to go through all the schematics and analyze, and trying to be unbiased about it. My heart is with KC and Mahomes
Yeah.
and Pacheco and Travis, but my brain and everything else is telling me Eagles, 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 Eagles all the way.
It's funny you mentioned that. That's so I made a bet at work. And I $20 bet with an old coworker actually that Stan. But me and him, right? He's like $20. Eagles winning. I'm like, I'm going KC. So in my heart, I'm like, what I want, KC. What I think, Eagles. I don't know though. It's tough.
Yeah. So they steamrolled over the Giants, of course, and they went on from there to do, even worse and badder things. And I mean, I was quite surprised though with the 49ers, they gave it a good try, but that's like number one defense in the league. And they were penalties, yes, but I know that there were some weird things, but it was still a pretty close game where it was just, one of those foot things into the, let me call it right, a field goal.
But Nicole, even with that being said, we're talking about the number one team all year that never was dethroned from that spot, going against what we call a fifth string quarterback. I'm just saying, let's call it what it is, and I'm not going to say injuries are to play into this, but
they were dethroned once.
Were they? Oh,
let's go, baby.
But
let's go.
But they didn't keep though. They didn't leave that first place in the whole league spot, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's true. That's true.
I don't know. The thing is though, is again, the 49ers, they did what they could, and yes, they have the number one defense, but at the same time, you also need to score points to win a game. It's not a matter of not scoring any points. You do have to score some points. So again, you're going the number one team in the whole entire league against a fifth string quarterback. That's a tough pill. Right? Sure, you're on a ship right now, right? Where you're holding all this cargo and you're about to land a $200,000 profit, but you don't have a captain to guide the ship.
Yeah. I think that we're gonna see some really weird plays. I think there's gonna be some ones for the books, just even to be like, we did that,
Yep. Oh, $5 bet says that an O lineman scores a touchdown somehow.
Oh man, yeah. Can you
interception? Who's gonna get it?
Oh yeah.
At the end of the day, in my opinion, I mean, this is such an exciting bowl to look at. I mean, you have the first time that you're ever gonna have two brothers playing each other in the game with Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce, them playing. The first time you're gonna have a coach that took the Eagles to 4 straight NFC championships and then was fired by the Eagles, picked up by the Chiefs, has done exactly the same thing except has had success, and now he's going to play the team that he took out of the mire and the muck and brought them to to the spotlight, and then they let him go. He's going to play that team. But I mean, I think you guys hit it on the head. I mean, you're dealing with it. I think you're dealing with on paper, you have a complete team. The Eagles are complete. Like you said, the quarterback is one thing, but you got 3 running backs that are getting it done. One of the best O-lines, that defensive line, they bulked it up midway through the season. Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. The secondary with Bradbury and then Darius Slay. I mean, these are 2 of the top tier corners in the league. So you have that going up against experience, going up against Patrick Mahomes, who, let's be honest, like you guys mentioned, the Eagles played the Giants, and the Giants were in competition. Then the Eagles got to play, I don't know if you want to call this luck or whatever, but the Eagles then got to play Josh Johnson, who Washington fans know Josh Johnson is not a first string, maybe not even a second string quarterback in this league right now. So they've had kind of an easy way to get to the Super Bowl, as to where the Chiefs had to play the Jaguars, who are an upstart team and gave them everything, and Patrick got hurt. Then the Chiefs had to survive the Bengals, and the Bengals were talking about they were your daddy and all this stuff. The Chiefs are hungry. The Chiefs are being proven all time and time again, they can't do it, they can't, yada yada yada. But the Chiefs are still here year in and year out. And to your point, Kyle, about maybe not necessarily rookies, but the Eagles are babies. The Eagles they've been to the Super Bowl in 2017, but like you said, they had Doug Peterson. They had a different squad of guys to the team they have now. Nick Sirianni's never been. Yeah, Sirianni's not been here. He hasn't been this far. You know what I mean? But then you got a coach and a coach quarterback combination that I got to say, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're kind of on par, especially with Brady leaving. They're on par of Belichick and Brady with Andy Reid and Mahomes. I mean, they have that 1-2 punch together. I want to go with my division, my other division, the NFC East, but we did beat them. If you keep that quarterback, if you keep Jalen Hurts off the field and you get him cold, if you can run the ball and hold the ball on that defense and keep them on the field and get them tired, they can be beaten. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna be very honest with you right now. I think you've got to go with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs can get this done.
Yeah, Chris hit it right on the head too. Off the field distractions sink many of very good Super Bowl teams. The Eagles have the drama already. This is exactly what happened with the Kansas City Chiefs also too. Was it the Kansas City Chiefs in the against the Buccaneers, right? No, they went in being dominant. They were this dominant, like fierce force team all year, and the Buccaneers, they were the wild card. Why would they win the Super Bowl, right? It's exactly what happened, right? It's nothing matters more than this game. Right. It does not matter if you went, 17-0 and then lost first round in the playoffs. Nobody's going to remember that. Like, nobody's going to be able to tell you, like, Sean, tell me, like, 3 years ago what the Final Four teams were. Right?
3 years ago, the Chiefs, and they were one of them, right? I can tell you the Chiefs.
That's what I mean. Nobody is going to remember how far. But Sean, who won the Super Bowl 3 years ago?
The Chiefs. No. 3 years ago? Yeah. That was the year before Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Right?
I believe so.
So then wouldn't that be 2019?
Yep, 2019. So because Tom won it in 2020, right? I believe so. First year.
Yeah.
So,
but he didn't win it his last year. He didn't win it his last year. I think 2019 was the Chiefs. They beat the 49ers that year. Yeah. No.
I think you're right.
Did they?
2019.
Yeah. Was it? I think it was 2019 because they won, and then the next year they came back and they lost to the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's 2019. It was the Chiefs.
Yeah. But regardless, like that's the thing is that you can go back to that conversation and think about that. But like the pathway of where it went to get there, like most people aren't going to remember unless you're a fan of that team. I'm not trying to undercut that because we're all going to remember our own team's success. I can remember, the Falcons going to the Super Bowl and then going back to the playoffs in 2017, right? But that's me as a fan, right? So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. So I guess we're splitting what? It's going to go Casey, Sean, Eagles?
Case. I'm going Eagles.
Eagles.
I hate it though, but I'm gonna be real because I was rooting for Casey. I still am rooting for Casey.
Casey. I'm not changing it. I'm sorry. You don't see teams like this often, and I've seen this story too many times. I really have. Like it's. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It does happen, but
I'll let you know at halftime.
Casey, right? Might change. No, I think I got to go with Casey. There's something to be said for those teams that have been there before. And KC, this is like their home away from home right now. So, and they just seem to do it. Like when Mahomes went down, I thought, oh, this is it. They're done. They're absolutely done for.
Yeah.
But I think Casey's got it.
I like
that. I'm going back. Wow. How do you pick?
Who's that?
Who is this player, Chris? That's got the criminally charged, because I think I've heard something about that, but I don't know exactly.
Oh, yes.
Is it somebody important?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I know us.
Good old Google. That's fine.
Josh Sills, the OL Josh Sills.
Oh wow.
As an undrafted free agent,
it's not gonna matter.
had some charges.
Was it domestic violence or something like that?
It's a little bit more of scarier, serious than that.
Okay.
I don't really want to. Well, it's bad.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't read the story. I just saw the headline, so I don't want to speak much on it. But Yeah.
Just by the headlines. Ooh.
Oh,
So
wow.
look that one up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. But I know we're getting close to the end of our show. Quickly, what I want to do is I want to go around and say what you want your first round pick to be. So, Sean, you don't have to necessarily mention player. You can just go position. Give us the Washington player and give us the Carolina player. Who would you like? Position needs. It's all about you, man.
I'm gonna go with first. I'm gonna go with Carolina because it's an NFC South show. It really depends. It really depends on who's still. Obviously quarterback seems to be the big need for me. It would be trenches, either O lineman or D lineman. Obviously, where we're at, we're probably going to get one of these guys like a Murphy or a Reich or one of these big name defensive tackles. So I would love that to keep the interior and build up on that. But as far as with Washington, I want either go O line or corner. We need to protect because it looks like we're going to go with the rookie, Sam Howell. So we need to either protect him or we need to get a corner because we have a lot of youth in the secondary, and that is one of our weaknesses. So we definitely got to address that. So for Washington, it's corner and potentially O-line. And then for Carolina, it is the trenches, O-line, D-line.
I like it. I like that. No, that's fair. Nicole, you now own the first round 30th pick. Where are we going with that?
Can we pick a new coach?
Hey,
I search every day in saying, is Dallas, is Dennis Allen leaving? And it's like, nope, he's confirmed he's staying. Nope, he's staying. He's staying. So if he's staying, I have to work with him, and if I like working with a guy, we obviously need a quarterback. That would be great. We didn't really get much production out of, Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston. Derek Carr would be great. I think that could, quite possibly lend its hands into our hands. But we're looking, I think we'll be more defensive in maybe getting Cam Jordan, a buddy, like a defensive end. I said a guy's last name in one of the drafts, but I can't remember it. And QB and defensive end. I think that we need a different coach though, but I'm working with it. He's growing on me. He'll grow on me.
It'll
happen.
I love it. I love it. So I guess with what's been going on with the Falcons lately, us drafting Drake London, no questions about it. He's the number one wide receiver on our team, and he probably will be for years. Being the nickname Mike Evans 2.0 potentially is not a light name to take for sure. So I think we're fine there. Tight end as well, Kyle Pitts. I honestly think, as much as people think that Kyle Pitts is a flop, he really hasn't had anybody that can throw to him. Let's see when he actually gets a quarterback that has a good passing and running game, and then we'll talk. So I think we're fine there. Chris Lindstrom too for our guards and stuff. Caleb McGarry as our tackle. I wouldn't mind a new tackle personally. But again, I'm going to stick with it. I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to go with either Miles Murphy as a defensive tackle, or potentially Tyree Wilson. Honestly, whichever one's available, I think that's ultimately what's going to end up happening. Is that's who the Falcons are going to pick. I don't see us going quarterback. I would be shocked. Although I will say that if we go quarterback first, for whatever strange reason, I would expect us to trade back in, because that would be the only way I could see us justifying doing that. Logically, I'll be honest with you, the only position that makes sense as a Falcons fan is to go defense. And I am pretty positive that everybody will agree in the Atlanta fan base. So that's it. Not bad, guys. An hour and 4 minutes.
I think we could say the Bucs are looking for a QB.
Bye-bye, Tom. So long.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in on this lovely, 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 lovely Wednesday night.
Mhm.
And we will be back with bigger and better things after the Super Bowl. But for now, bye-bye.
See you.